I'd like to do a little short video on YouTube here on how to smoke salmon. Now, the main thing with smoking salmon, the first ingredient is the brine. And they have to be cured. What I use, I'm really simple, I'm old school, and I use just salt. Okay, we just use canning salt. Now, the recipe is very simple. 8 ounces of salt per gallon of water. Now, you use as much water as you're going to need. Now, I have 6 fillets here of salmon, and they were caught in the summer, and it is now winter, so they're not fresh, but they're vacuum packed, and they smoke up just fine. So, for this amount of salmon, I'm going to use 2 gallons of water and 16 ounces of dry measure with the salt. Now, I put that in a cooler with 2 gallons of water and stir it until the water goes clear. It will be cloudy with the salt in it. Once the water goes clear, the salt mixture is saturated. Now, the salmon fillets, I take, as you'll notice, I have all the skin off of these salmon fillets. Now, the salmon fillet on the back side here, when you take the skin off, it will have the mud line, which will be a dark colored, a reddish brown color, and I fillet all of that out. That's where your foul tasting and your fishy tasting is of the fish. So be very explicit in getting all of that mud line out. Then I'm going to just simply place them in the cooler with the water in it, and I'm going to leave them in this solution with cold water overnight, 10 hours. After 10 hours, I will drain that, and then I will fill the cooler with a couple of gallons of water, of good cold fresh water, for 1 hour. That will take the salt that's on the outside, where it more concentrates on the outside, that will clear that up so you don't have a very salty taste on the outside. Okay? And I'm going to leave these sitting out for 10 hours, and then we'll do the mixture then. Blustery day here in northern Wisconsin. The temperature is in single digits, and I already did, let's let this smoke clear. What I've done that I didn't show is the brine, the fish were in the brine for 10 hours, and then I drained that brine out, and then I put fresh clear water. Now, I'm on well water. I don't know that people that live in a city, if the chlorinated water would come out the same. I have no history on that. Okay, so they were in for 10 hours, out for 1. If you want them a little saltier, you can leave them in a little longer, but it's pretty critical on how long you leave them in. If it's too long, they will get salty. And the salt is the cure. The smoke is actually for flavor. Some say it adds some cure. I'm not sure. I do it mainly for flavor, and it'll give it a little color. Now, what I did is, seeing that the skin is removed from the fillets, I put it on parchment paper, as you can see. So when I lay them on the rack, they won't stick. They come easily off the parchment paper, and it works really well. So now I've got all my fillets laying on my rack, and they're about 4 feet above my fire. Now I build a fire in the smokehouse. My smokehouse is 6 foot by 6 foot, and it's cement block. Did I mention that it's in the single digits today? I'm not going to be able to get this hot enough to actually cook the fish. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to smoke these at a temperature that I'll be able to attain is probably about 120, maybe 130 degrees today. The fish need to be at 160 degrees to be cooked. That will give you the firmness that you need. So I'm going to smoke for flavor and color. And then I'm going to have to take them and put them in the oven because I have no way to get this up hot enough for that. Okay? So, fire's doing good. I'm going to close the door and let these smoke. We'll come back later. Okay, we've been smoking about 4 hours now, and I've got the color I want, and I'm sure the flavor is there. Now, I wasn't able to get it up very hot, so now I'm going to take them and I'm going to put them in the oven at 300 degrees and put a thermometer in them, and when it gets to 160 degrees, they will be done. Now, I failed to mention the wood I use. I use a hard maple, which is indigenous to the area, and I have a lot of it. And it gives me the flavor I'm looking for. I've tried the fruit woods, and I prefer the hard maple. Now, that's all personal preference. Okay, now out to the oven. Okay, the temperature is 160 degrees. It's just starting to drop just a little bit. I just took them out of the oven. And they've got a very nice color. You can see how the fat has cooked out of it. A lot of it has turned liquid and is in the pan. And we've got some very tasty fillets. Okay, that was the oven at 300 degrees, and it took about a half an hour for that to be done. Now I'm going to let these chill, and then I'll package them up after they've cooled. Okay, that's all I've got for now. Thank you.